Hello, folks. Today we're going to be going over the 90s. You're going to need the cover of your unit pack. You're also going to need your periodic table as well as a calculator. So on the back of your unit pack, we have these rules for multiplication and division for sig figs and some examples there, and addition and subtraction with sig figs. I would be using this front cover for a while until you get comfortable. At some point in time, this material will sink into your head and you'll never need it again. But I'd be using this cover a lot until we get really comfortable with the material. The material of the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division of sig figs, those are topics that we use all year long in chemistry. So it is vital that you learn the material today or ask some questions if you get stuck on anything. This is also on the back of your periodic table. So we do want you to use your periodic table on all quizzes and tests. So we don't hide the rule from you. You just need to know where the rule is so you can use it. Also, we have the rules for scientific notation if that comes to play for you as well. So this is a little bit of review. If we want to know how many sig figs are in these numbers, and this very first one, we have 1 sig fig. That's kind of easy to see. All non-zero numbers are considered significant. And in the second one, we have 2 sig figs because all non-zero numbers are considered significant. The 0 is the number that seems to cause us some issues in chemistry. So I want you to pause the video and see if you can answer these next 2. Well, in this next one right here, if this 0 was not here, that would mean that this 1 is my estimated digit. And this estimated digit could go up to a 2, could go down to a 0, depending on who did the measurement. It's an estimated digit. But the 1 is not the estimated digit. The 0 is the estimated digit. So that means this number is significant, this 1 is significant, and this 0, since it is part of the measurement, is also significant. So this has 3 significant digits. Again, this is our estimated digit, and that is considered a significant digit. Same thing goes on for those 2 right there. So this one has 4 significant digits. All right, so again, this is on the cover of your unit pack. It's the back. It talks about multiplication, division. And so let's just go through it. So here we have a 3 sig fig number, and here we have a 4 sig fig number. We punch that into our calculator, and we get this, which is 6 digits. The rule is your answer can have no more significant digits in your piece of data with the fewest significant digits. So our answer could only have 3 digits. So we got to write that number with 3 digits, and that's what we did with rounding right there. We're going to be asking you a lot to be writing down your calculator answer. You do not need to unload your calculator an immense amount. You just need to do enough digits so when we do the rounding, we can make sure that you did the rounding. So here's the division. Same rule. Your answer can have no more significant digits in your piece of data with the fewest significant digits. So this number has 5 digits in it, and this one has 4 digits. This is what our calculator spits out. We would not expect you to write down all of that. We would say, okay, we got 4 and 5. So let's maybe write down 6 digits or something like that on the paper for today's assignment. So the rule is our answer can have no more digits than our piece of data with the fewest significant digits. 4 is the fewest significant digits. So we got to write that number with 4 digits. With correct rounding, that is how we do it. Again, I would have this sheet out all the time as you are doing these problems until you get comfortable with this. So here is the same rule, multiplication, division. Your answer can have no more significant digits in your piece of data with the fewest significant digits. So we punch this into our calculator. We get 33 as a calculator answer. That is the correct calculator answer, but it is not the correct answer with sig figs. Here we have 1 sig fig, and here we have 2 sig figs. So our answer could only have 1 sig fig in it. How do you write 33 with 1 sig fig? Well, you try to pick a number that's really close to 33 that has only 1 significant digit. So you could write it as 30. And if we were counting significant digits, this would only have 1 significant digit in it. So it's not exactly 33, but with rounding, and going to the correct number of significant digits, 30 is about as close as we can get. Or we could have 3 times 10 to the first centimeter squared. Both of those numbers are the exact same number, and they both have one significant digit in them. So here we go. We're going to have you do this problem on your calculator. So that times that, you should get this as a calculator answer. If you don't get that as a calculator answer, you're punching numbers wrong into your calculator. Right down here, I go through the steps, depending on your calculator, what buttons you might have to push to get that answer to come out correctly. Pause the video. Make sure you do in fact get 2.04 times 10 to the 25th on it. Then restart the video. But if we look at this problem, we have 3 significant digits there, and we have 2 significant digits there. So according to the multiplication division rule, our answer can have no more significant digits than our piece of data with the fewest. So we got to write this with 2 significant digits. Please don't think that these are significant or those. They are not considered significant digits. We are just looking at those numbers in front of that multiplication sign. So in this instance, I would write this as 2.0 times 10 to the 25th centimeters squared. That's how I'd go about writing that. So if we do this math on your calculator, and I find out a lot of students don't actually grab out their calculator when we do these examples. So please grab out your calculator. See if you do, in fact, get 30 on your calculator. If you do not, I'll go through some situations that, that you might have done. So please try that on your calculator, pause the video, and take care of that. If you didn't get 30 on your calculator, this is what I'm guessing you did. You type this into your calculator. You hit the division button. You divided it by 2.00, and since it's multiply, what you did then is you took this value right here and you essentially multiplied it by 3, which would be like putting the 3 up there, and then you multiplied it by 2, which would be like putting the 2 up there. To correctly put this into your calculator, the paper kind of lies to you. The screen kind of lies to you. What you would have to do is put this in your calculator, hit the division button, and you would have to divide it. So you'd use a parentheses, put all of this in, close the parentheses, and that's how you get 30. So you got to watch it on the worksheets and make sure that you're putting things into your calculator correctly. It looks this way, but you had to put it into your calculator a different way. Mr. Brazin would actually take this number, divide it by this number, and then divide all that by this number, and divide all that by that number. That's another way of doing it. I seem to like parentheses. He seems to like to do it that way. And that's fine. It's up to you. So if we look at this, we can only have 2 sig figs in our answer. And that's not the correct answer because we need 2 sig figs. And since there's no decimal point right there, there's only 1 sig fig in that answer. So what we would have to do is we'd have to go 30 point, and that makes that 0 significant, or we can go 3.0 times 10, and we have to move that decimal point 1 spot times 10 to the first grams per centimeter cubed. So there's 2 ways of doing that. Addition and subtraction, it's all about place value. And what is the most precise number? What is the least precise number? So the rule is your answer can be no more precise than your least precise number. So if we look at our example right here, this number goes to the hundredths place, goes to the tenths place, and this one goes to the thousandths place. So let me do a little bit of teaching before we go further. So this 6 right here, this is our estimated digit. It might really be a 7. It might really be a 5. But it depends on who is taking the actual measurements. So we're not 100% positive that that 6 is actually a 6. If that's the case, when we pass on some information to another scientist, we need to make sure that we're only giving them the degree of precision that we measure to. So this one is being measured to the tenths place. That's our least precise number. So our answer could only have that degree of precision. So we add all this up. We get this on our calculator. Our least precise number is this number right here, which goes to the tens place. So our answer can only go to the tens place. And that's why we have to have 13.7 as our actual answer. We do some subtraction. This is the exact same rule. Our answer could be no more precise than our least precise piece of data. This piece of data only goes to the hundredths. This one goes to the thousandths. We get this on our calculator, but our answer can only go to the hundredths. So our answer ends up being the 9.14 centimeters. So we do this addition, we end up getting a calculator answer of 1.02. Nope, that would be wrong. We should get 3.02. Sorry about that. This one goes to the hundredths place, so 0.00 place. And this one goes to the tenths place, so our answer could only go to the tenths place. So our true answer would be 3.0 centimeters. So that's how you go about answering those problems. Apologize for that little mistake right there. Addition and subtraction rule, your answer could be no more precise than your least precise piece of data. This one goes to a great deal of precision. This one stops at the tenths place, so our answer would have to go to the tenths place. So our answer would be 1.3 centimeters. So I want you to work on the 90s. I'm going to reveal the answers real quickly, but I want you to pause the video, do a problem, pause the video, do a problem, pause the video, do a problem. Also realize that there's some answers on the bottom of the 90s and on the bottom of 90.1, so you can be checking your answer as you go along. If you're not getting the answers that we get, you should definitely stop in and get some assistance with that. So here's the significant digit rule. If you can come up with it out of your head, that's great. If not, you can find your periodic table and write it down from that. Our goal is to get this rule into your head so you no longer need to reference it from any piece of paper. And there is the rule for multiplication and division. So again, if you can do it out of your head, that's great. Otherwise, make sure that you reference it from the periodic table. So here we go. We multiply these together. This is going to deal with number of sig figs. So that's what the multiplication and division rule deal with, is the number of sig figs. It does not deal with precision. That's addition and subtraction. I get a calculator answer right there. I don't want to have to go nuts with the calculator answers. Just kind of think about it like I have 4 digits here and I have 2 digits here. So my calculator should go out to like 4 digits so I can look at the rounding rules. Our answer can only have 2 sig figs. So we have to write this number with 2 sig figs, and we correctly do it over here with the correct label on it. Again, make sure you're pausing the video, trying the problems first, and then play the video to see if you did it correctly. In this problem, you take these numbers, realize this is the one that's got the significant digits in it. This is the one that's got the significant digits. So we got 2 digits there. We got 3 digits there. We do not look at the times 10 to the 8th or times 10 to the 15th as significant digits. We just simply don't do that. We do multiply them into the problem. If you do not get this calculator answer, you're putting it into your calculator wrong. If you get it to the 25th or the 26th or the 23rd or the 22nd, if you're always off by just a couple factors of 10, it's because you're actually hitting a multiplication sign than actually punching in a 10 into your calculator, which is causing you the issues. So with this one, our answer can only have 2 significant digits, and that is exactly what I have right there. So if you are having issues with calculator input, please talk to us. Look at this one. This is multiplication or division. So it's all about number of digits. So this has 5 digits. This has 2 digits. So our answer could only have 2 digits. Make sure you're rounding correctly. We look at the first 2 digits. Those get written down. We look at the third one to see how we're going to do a rounding. That's a 4. So 4s we round off, and that's why it's 17. We don't care about those digits. It doesn't matter that there is a 9 behind the 4. Here's your next one. So check and see how you do on this one. If you don't get our calculator answer, what you most likely did is you did this math, and then you hit the multiplication sign, and you multiplied all of that by this number, which did not give you the correct answer. So again, worksheets will lie to you all the time. And what you should do with this problem is type in the 123, hit the division button, and put 1 parentheses there. Take in the whole problem, do all the multiplication, close up the parentheses, and you'll get the correct answer. Now, Mr. Brosnan does, in fact, like to do it a little bit differently. He'll take the 123, divide by this number, and then you'll hit divide again, and that is perfectly fine as well. It's all about how you wish to do the problem. We look at sig figs in this problem. So we got 3 sig figs in that top number. We got 4 in that one, and we got 2 in that one, so our answer can only have 2 sig figs. Again, if you're not getting the correct calculator answers, please stop in so we can help you. Again, for calculator answers, we're not asking you to completely unload your calculator. Just look at it. We got 3 sig figs, 2 sig figs, 4 sig figs, so we should probably go out at least 4 or 5 sig figs with that number. Here's the next one. This one can cause you problems if you don't know how to type in numbers in scientific notation. If you do in fact get it correct, you should be getting those numbers on your calculators. It all depends on how it shows up on your calculator. Again, you should be taking this top number and dividing it by this whole batch. In other words, kind of ignore those right there. Just look at that as a multiplication sign and doing the problem that way. So if we look at all that, we have 2 sig figs on top. We have 5 there. We have 2 there. So 3 sig figs on top. And so we should only have 2 sig figs in our answer. This one is all about the degree of precision. So this one stops at the ones place. So our answer should stop at the ones place. And that's in fact what it does. Again, we have to go to the ones place. So we look at a rounding at the tens place. That's a 4 or less, so we round off. We don't care about that 9. That 9 does not influence our answer at all. Here's another one. Our degree of precision goes to the ones place, so our answer should go to the ones place. This one, the degree of precision stops at the tens place with that number, so our answer should only go to the tens place. In this problem, the least degree of precision is the hundredths place, so our answer should go to the hundredths place. In this problem, the degree of precision is the least in this number, that goes to the thousands place, so our answer should go to the thousands place. 90.1 is your homework. There are some answers at the bottom, so you know if you're doing them as you go along, doing them correctly as you go along. Please come in for assistance if you do need it. Thank you.